Hey kids. Got to adjust my rope climbing training. I'm not progressing as fast as I thought. All right, kids. See, Louie Simmons. Louie Simmons, the guy who started Westside Barbell system, invented the conjugate system, invented the reverse hyper machine, probably brought the most significant change in strength development to America in a long, long time. Died recently, like a week ago. Died March 24th, 2022, 74 years old. I never met him personally, but this is my Louie Simmons story. He was an inspiration to me when I was back in 2001, 2002 when I first moved to South Carolina in 2000, and I learned about him in 2001. I think I talked to him in 2002. He was a tough man, 50 years old. What did he do? He squatted like over 900, deadlifted over 700, and benched 600 at 50. So, if you watch my workout videos, I talk about the Westside Barbell systems a lot. But, gotta figure, when I first started climbing rope, I could just climb it in high school. It's been, doggy, 12 years or so. So it's taken me a while to get back on that pony. So I'm developing a new rope climbing training regimen until I get back to the old form. Yeah. All right, so I started arm wrestling in like 2000, and by about 2001 or so, 2001, 2002, I joined South Carolina Barbell Club owned by Mark Bartley. And he was a world record holding power lifter. He kind of saw what I was doing in the gym, which was basically just making crap up based on a bodybuilding book I had written by Franco Colombo and other bodybuilding stuff I'd seen. And he saw what I was doing. At the time, I was like training side pressure on a seated row machine. He asked what I was doing. Didn't like ridicule me or make fun or anything, but he had a genuine interest. So I explained what I was doing, and he started talking about powerlifting and training, and he talked about the Westside Barbell system. And I was intrigued because, like I said, I'm going down there and I'm just making stuff up, you know, doing sets of 10 or sets of 3 or just winging it. And here was a guy who actually taught me how he laid out. He goes, this is what I bench press at the last meet. This is what I got to bench press at the next one. This is my training to get stronger. And at the time, I thought a 400-pound bench would be amazing because I was benching in the 3s. And I've never benched 400. Even today, I still have never got my bench up to 400. But that was kind of a goal back then, even though I've known several people smaller than me that could bench 500 at the time. So he kind of explained it and pointed me to the website. And on that website, Louie had all these articles that he had written that had appeared in powerlifting magazines and stuff. And being an engineer, I go, this is exactly what I need. A methodical, science-based way of getting stronger. This is how you measure how you're stronger. This is how you get stronger. If you stop getting stronger, you do these things and you start getting stronger again. I loved it. I was like, how does nobody know about this? Who doesn't want to be stronger, you know? And we'll come back to it later. But on all these articles, and these articles are still on the Westside Barbell website. I was just on the website the other day because I knew I was going to talk about him when he died. But these articles appeared in like Powerlifting USA or other magazines like that. But Louie would sign them and leave his phone number at the bottom of them. So remind me to come back to that. Ugh, slippery hands. Whew. 4 reps maybe. So I'm reading these articles and there's there's just so much information. But I settled on his bench pressing articles because he's got, they're written around squatting and deadlifting and assistance work and work capacity and all this stuff that I love and I understand now, but back then it was just too much. So I figured I'm just going to take his bench pressing articles and apply them to side pressure, basically. Because I didn't have an arm wrestling machine, but I walked into the gym and I go, this is kind of what I want to do arm wrestling. So I grabbed a handle and set it on the seated row machine. And so when he'd do speed day, he said speed day is 60% of your max, with bands and stuff. And I believe it's 6 sets of 3 at the time. And this is what you do on max day, and this is what you do for assistance work. So I would take the bench press articles and, okay, bench, side pressure, you got to switch. You switch bars, you switch boards, you use chains. Okay, I can get different handles, I can add chains, I can add bands, I was just mapping it out that way. Still doing sets of 3. And for assistance work, I was obviously doing like wrist curls, bicep stuff. Man, climbing rope stuff, it's hard when your favorite hoodie weighs 85 pounds. Maybe if I got one without the hood, a hoodie without a hood, an oodie. This summer, you'll see me get to the top. Actually, this summer, you'll see me get to the top behind my head. That's the goal. Michael Todd don't stand a chance. So, I was working this out, doing the bench press, and then I started thinking, well, when you're benching, you're using these big muscles. When I'm arm wrestling, I'm using little. So I decided to talk to Louie Simmons. Phone number is right there. Sure, he left his phone number. It's for people to talk to him. So I called him up, and he didn't answer. I believe his wife answered, but it was a woman. I believe it was his wife. I can't remember the conversation. I think that's how she was introduced to me. But I'll be honest, I can't quite remember. She said Louie was gone for the day, call back later. So I told Mark that. He goes, what? He goes, you called Louie Simmons? Mark knew Louie Simmons. Mark, that whole South Carolina powerlifting crew, they all set records. They're in different weight lift. They'd met him several times because they'd compete against Louie's guys, but they'd all talk to him. He goes, what do you mean you called him? I go, yeah, the phone number's there. He goes, man, he ain't got time to talk to you. That's when I found out just how big this guy was, man. He was like training NFL football teams and college football teams. And he talks about a lot of this in his articles. He'd train, college track and field people, Olympic lifters. Hey, can I talk to Louie? He's not here right now. I'll call back later. So Oh, so he kind of made me a little self-conscious, not too much, because after all, you know, I'm not even Todd Zilla yet. I'm just Todd Hutchings. And so I sent him an email. I sent an email to the Westside Barbell email address, laying out what I wanted to talk about. You know, should I do more reps for the arms? And I was talking to Mark and them too, but I just was I was fanboying it for sure, but I was just so impressed with how this, like, the knowledge I needed, he like concisely wrote. And a lot of these articles were 5 and 10 years old before I'd read them, but they were just so well written. They're like a page and a half. I was like, bam, man, this is what I need. Boom, boom. And he I don't know who replied back. I think the wife replied back. I think she said, oh, I talked to Louie and answered my questions and stuff. But she goes, he'll be back later in the week. So I called him one more time. This time I talked to him. And when I'm actually talking to him, I'm like, no, I got nothing to say. I got like a notebook full of crap I want to ask, and now I don't know what to say. And it became obvious, probably to Louie in 2 seconds, and probably obvious to me in about 100 seconds, that he knew that I didn't know anything about powerlifting or getting strong. Not a thing. So this is where you don't know what you don't know. And I think he also realized I didn't know squat about arm wrestling, because he had asked some questions. But he talked to me. He probably talked to me. He probably talked to me 30 or 40 minutes. It felt like 5, but he talked to me for quite a while. But I remember getting towards the end that he knew that I should have done a lot more research before calling him. And I also knew at this time, because what Mark had said, just how busy and involved this guy was, and how just incredibly famous he was. And now I realize how such a tiny little person I am, you know. And because I mean, I'd be busy at my work, so I know what like a busy job would be. But this guy is like world famous, right? I mean, like, people from all over the world are calling him because the internet's not that good yet, you know? And he didn't rush me. He talked to me, and I could tell he was in a busy, probably his gym, because he would like hold the phone down and tell somebody something. And it struck me when I got off the phone, how just generous he was, you know? And then I just couldn't, you know, because what I was talking about probably had no interest to him at all. But I think he knew it was important to me. And for him to just take that time and answer my questions, that was, man, that was sweet. I mean, I've been helped by so many people, and I truly appreciate everybody who's helped me. But that was when I really started to realize just how grateful I am to so many, like, just important and nice people to me in my life. So, flash forward to today. I get, not like he did, but I get a lot of texts and messages and emails and stuff. And I read all of them. I answer most. If there's a direct question that I know how to answer or something, I'll help. And I answer as many as I possibly can. I try to answer all of them. Some I don't understand, so they sit in the pile. And probably about 2% of the ones I reply, somebody will reply back and they'll say, wow, you know, I can't believe you answered me, or thank you so much for answering me. I've asked this question to other people and nobody ever replied. And when that happens, I always try to make it a point to answer every single question I get, because somebody far bigger and far more important than me did it to me when I really wanted it. I'm not so sure I needed it then. I probably could have figured it out, but I really wanted it. I really wanted somebody's attention. And I'm just so glad I got it. Yeah. Almost. Bye, kids.